What inspired you to create the Tracy Nicole Foundation? I know you said a little bit though about.
So, it's a great question because I have been doing the self-esteem workshop for years, and there were so many organizations and young girls that needed it that really couldn't afford like to get the books or to do the program. And I'm like, okay, how can and I would get funding for them. I would get people to donate. And I said, you know what, if I started a foundation, then I would be able to do this on a much bigger scale.
Right.
And so that led to me being able to get corporate funding. So now I've been able to go into schools and just offer the workshops and offer the books, and the foundation covers it. So I sell my T-shirts. That's another thing I started doing with the young girls. If you look at my site, you'll see a T-shirt that says "I am enough."
Yeah, I saw that one. Yep.
Yeah. So every year I get with a different group of girls and they help me design the T-shirt. So how cool is that?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that is cool.
And the sales from those T-shirts help fund their workshops. So they actually, they get to create what's paying for the workshops that's helping them with the self-love and the self-esteem. We did another one called I Choose Me. And they're all campaigns that are uplifting and empowering and necessary, because young girls walk out into the world and they are reminded every single day that you are not enough. They go on social media, they turn on the TV and they compare themselves to what they see, and they're constantly being told they're not enough, and they are, and they need to be reminded of that. I Choose Me was teaching young girls and women to put yourself first. Women feel guilty about putting ourselves first. We, think about it. Even when we cook, when we make plates, we're gonna make everybody a plate before us.
That is true.
We're trained, unconsciously to put ourselves last. And so it's like, give yourself permission to say, you know what, today is all about me, and that's okay.
It is okay. I love that.
And the list goes on. So every time we do one of those shirts, I Am Enough has stuck where I can't, every time I get, it sells out, people ask for it. So that's the one that just, it will not go away.
Right, okay. Also, well, I've seen that you guys do events too, with the I Promise program. So I was just wondering, like, what kind of events do you host for that?
Okay. And just to round up what the foundation does, we do scholarships for young girls too, and that's like the main thing we do.
Okay.
For years, I have done scholarships for first generation college students. Every year, like the first person in their family to go to school. This year, I am expanding that to art students.
Oh, I love that.
And that came from just meeting students that they love it. They just don't have the money to do it, or they don't have the family support.
Right.
And, having a daughter that's an artist, that's in the arts, and meeting some of her friends that are in school with her, they're so excited about how I support my daughter. It's not the most common thing to support, your child when they say I want to be an artist. And I am my daughter's number one fan. I absolutely love her work.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So this year we're doing scholarships for students that are studying in the arts. And it could be art, it could be fashion. It's not just limited to fashion.
Okay. I love that. Yeah, because I feel like...
So that's only going to grow.
Okay, yeah. That's really good, though. Because I definitely feel like a lot of parents, they kind of like to stray their kids away from those professions. Because they think, that it's not going to make them enough money,
Yeah. I lived it.
My parents, I told them I wanted to be in broadcast journalism, and they were very supportive of it from get-go. So Yeah.
Good. That's good.
I got lucky
times
that
have
way.
changed. Times have changed.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I'm way more successful financially as a fashion designer than I was as an occupational therapist.
Right.
Believe it or not. And my parents could not conceive of that because I did very well as a therapist.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So with the women, with the I Promise program, I started something called Self-Care Sunday, and I just had one on Sunday. Once a month, I not only highlight a Black entrepreneur and lift them up on my platform, but I pick a day for women to just put themselves first. And that's why I call it Self-Care Sunday. And they come to the showroom, and it really is just like, it's kind of like a fellowship. Because it's networking, but it's not businessy. Okay. It's people connecting, but it's more on a spiritual level. And the first time I did it, people were giving testimonies like, I needed this. Women don't take time for themselves.
Yes.
And I'm a serial workaholic.
Yeah.
So one of the main reasons I came up with Self-Care Sunday is I was like, I need a day.
Right.
I need a day
yep.
to remind myself to take care of me. So this is an ongoing thing. I get texts and emails. Let me know when the next Self-Care Sunday is. When is the next one? Right. And I just let it flow organically. I might meet a woman out, and she starts telling me about her business, and I'll say, you know what? You need to be a part of Self-Care Sunday. And I just allow God to guide this whole thing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because I know, like, even myself, I have a hard time, putting myself first with things, and I'm always thinking about everybody else. So it's like, it's good to take that time, for yourself.
Yeah.
And, it definitely
to be in a
is.
position where I can provide a space, and it's free of charge, and we can come together and just and relax and be ourselves unapologetically and celebrate each other. That's why I highlight an entrepreneur. It's very hard, and it takes a lot of courage to start your own business. And so I want to encourage that, because I know how hard it was on my journey. And I've been so blessed. Business has been amazing.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
it's my paying it forward.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, it's almost like a little therapy session for them, but like...
Girl, it turns into straight therapy up in the showroom. And we don't even intend for it to.
Right, it just goes there.
But I'll tell you what the biggest thing for me is, when I owned a store, nobody knew who I was. I never used my face. I never told anybody who I was. They knew of my name. I never connected with anyone because I was busy running a business.
Right, okay.
And when I launched the clothing line, all of that changed to the complete opposite.
Right.
Doing private appointments, I'm actually able to get to know my clients. Some of them have become good friends.
Yeah.
And people get to know me and who I am. And that actually, not only is it better for business, but it's more meaningful.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's a lot more meaningful. So I learned that the hard way. I was so focused on the business. I was like, people don't need to know who I am. And that's not true. Right. It's the total opposite. They need to know who you are and why you're doing this.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, people do like that connection, and it definitely helps for sure. Yeah.
And people will come into the showroom and they'll go, I can't believe you're here. And I'm like, yeah. It's so funny. They're like, oh my God, it's you. It's Tracy Nicole. I'm like, yeah, it's me.
That's funny, yeah.
It is hilarious. I never get over that. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's like a really nice surprise for them. Yeah, that's good. Let's see, what else? Oh, I see that with the Perfect Peach program that they do like community service projects. I just wanted to know like what those projects were and stuff like that.
So, oh my gosh, we've done everything from feeding the homeless, putting together care packages for foster kids. I work with different school systems, so I work with Atlanta Public Schools, Clayton County, and we work with different organizations. So it's the girl group switches up, which is great, and it allows them to get really involved in the community and help other people.
Right. Okay. I love that. Okay. Let's see what else we have.
I think the latest thing I helped with was just this past week, I went to speak to a group of girls and help them put together period packs. So just like educating young girls on their period and making packages for them. Yeah.
I love that you do that. That is amazing. Yeah, that is really amazing. Because a lot of young girls definitely need, that support and that guidance, and because they don't, have it at home, and a lot of them don't, they struggle with their confidence, and some of them don't even know what a period is, or what to do when it happens. So that's amazing. I love that. I love all of that.
Yeah, and when I go in and share my story with young girls, and I connect with them, it allows them to let that guard down and know that they're not really different from me. They just need to do the work, because we all do. We're all working on ourselves. You don't come into this world knowing that you are amazing. You don't come into this world knowing that. And if you don't have people around you reinforcing that, or if you're not in an environment that reinforces that, it could really tear you down.
Where do you see your clothing line and foundation at in about 5-10 years? Or where would you like it to go? Or,
I see it in spa retail and cruise ships all over the world.
Nice. Okay.
And with the foundation, I see being able to invest in another young person's dream by investing in their business. I would like to change the narrative of less than 1% of the fashion industry is owned by African American women. And a lot of, I should say African Americans, period. Yeah. We own less than 1%. And I want to use my foundation to help change that. Most of the cause is resources and access. And so using the foundation to help someone else get their business off of the ground is the ultimate goal. And hopefully being able to do that on a yearly basis. So I definitely see that happening over the next 5 years.
I see you building an empire going. So I was like, is there any other plans you have aside from your clothing line and foundation?
That's a good question. That is an excellent question because there is a writer in me. Because I wrote a book and a workbook for teens, and that's actually what I use for my workshops. The book that I wrote. So the book that I wrote is called Who Said Peaches Were Perfect, and I followed that with a workbook, and the workbook is divided into 7 sessions, and it's still used today.
Can people
ultimately?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You can find it on Amazon.
On Amazon? Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I might have to get that book myself.
It is a great story. Yeah. I wrote it because I wanted to write something that I wish I could have read in high school.
Okay.
It's a book about relationships and life choices and how they affect you.
Okay.
It's a book about mistakes you may have made or choices you may have made that were negative don't define how far you can go in life. And I wanted young girls to read this book and get some life lessons, because sometimes you don't have to go through something to learn a lesson the hard way.
Yeah.
So that was the purpose behind it. But I followed it with a workbook so that I could actually get it into the school systems. And I was successful at doing that.
Nice. Okay.
So years ago, I wrote another book called Landing, but I never got it published. So the ultimate goal is to rewrite that book, get it published, and turn it into a movie. I haven't shared that with a lot of people. That is like an ultimate goal outside of the clothing.
Yes. Okay. That is amazing. Yeah, you definitely should do that for sure.
Yeah. So I do study screenwriting. I do, I try to study little things that I'm interested in. I'm an avid reader.
Right.
So I'm that person that's in the car listening to books or walking around the house listening to books. I love reading. And I love listening to other people's stories. So I listen to a lot of autobiographies. And I listen to a lot of business books because you don't get this far in business. I've had a successful clothing line for 10 years, and that's unheard of. Most clothing lines go out of business in the first 5 years.
Right.
And most small businesses don't make it past the first year.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that is amazing.
So, so I try to stay informed. I continuously learn. And I try to share that with young girls. Like, you have to continuously study your craft. If it's something you really want to do, you'll enjoy learning more about it. And you never stop learning. Right. You absolutely never stop learning. Yeah.
Yep. That is amazing. Well, I am so here for a movie.
Yes. I'm glad I said it out loud because, I believe in manifesting, so I put it in the universe.
Yeah, I'm putting it out there for you, too. Because I would definitely watch that movie, too. That'd be amazing. Yeah. Well, I love absolutely everything you do.
And I pitched that to them for several reasons. It's very difficult to get funding for a business. It's damn near impossible. If you haven't done anything and you can't prove yourself, it's almost like you can get the money if you don't need it. If you can show us you're making the money and you have the money, then we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
So, it's learning how to not only attain funding, but also how to build wealth on a personal level. There's no fashion without finance. And there's no shopping without money. So the whole premise behind fashion and finance is an educational component. It is teaching people how to manage their money, set goals, and build wealth. And so our second series will be this Sunday.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes. And if you would like to come, I would send you an invitation.
Oh, I wish I could. I actually live in Michigan.
Okay. I figured you were out of town.
Yeah.
But I figured I'd throw that out there anyway.
Yeah. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. I wish I could come. I really want to probably do like a virtual shopping experience one of these days for sure. I'll reach out to you.
Absolutely.